Hi, it's Pastor Chris, popping in before the main video really quick to tell you two things. First, if you like this video, please share it with folks who you know. That way more people will see this video and find our other stuff and hear the good news of Jesus Christ and get to know our community here in DeWitt a little bit better and maybe even find a community for themselves. The second thing is that I was out of commission on Sunday morning due to a back problem because apparently I'm old. And so thank you very much to my wife, Mariah, who is also a pastor in the United Church of Christ, for filling in, and for everyone who made worship possible. But I also kind of liked my sermon idea for Sunday, and I didn't want to just let it go. So what you are about to see is me preaching to you, to a camera, and to an empty room. I hope you like it, and I hope it doesn't end up being too weird. And with that, on to the main video. A few weeks ago, I told you that one of the things that Matthew does is he takes these things that Jesus said, these things that Jesus said probably in a bunch of different times, at a bunch of different places, and he puts them in little groups, little sermons like the one that we're in now, the Sermon on the Mount. And that's really useful to us, because that means that we don't need to read them over and over again as Jesus says them in different times and at different places. But it also means that when the people who make the lectionary divide them up into readings, we can get kind of weird things. Because they're not exactly in a particular order, and the lectionary cuts don't always make a whole lot of sense, and we can end up with a reading like this week's reading. Do not judge. But be sure that you know who the dogs are and don't give anything holy to them. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened. But the gate is narrow, and the road is hard that leads to life. Treat others as you would have them treat you. But build your house on rock, not on shifting sands. And I've been spending time trying to figure out how these fit together, how these work together, how we can take these sayings that seem to be kind of at odds with each other and get them to work together. So, I've read this book series where the protagonist, let's not call him a hero, has kind of one signature move. When he sees danger, when risk is right there, when adventure calls, he runs away. And the plot of the books is really driven by the fact that when he runs away, he ends up running deeper into the problem that he is supposed to solve until his back is against the wall and he has no choice but to deal with the thing that he has to deal with. But this protagonist would tell you, and has told people in the books, that the point of running away is to run away. The running is obvious. You want to be fast. You are trying to get away from that thing, so you run. And the away is important because the focus is on away. It is about what you're running away from. And he would tell you, if he was real and if he was here, when you're running away, the two kind of takes care of itself. And I'm telling you this because Christianity has a running away problem. So many people, so many Christians think that this whole thing, all the stuff that we do, all the things that we believe, are about running away from hell. I know this because when I was younger, I fell in with a group of Christians that was really, really concerned about my soul because they knew that I was going to hell. And that the only way that I could get out of that was if I invited Jesus into my heart and became a real, true, honest to God Christian. And it's not just back then. Even recently, I heard a pastor of a huge church say that the reason that he does this, the reason he preaches, the reason he pastors, the reason he evangelizes is because there are all of these people out there who are going to hell. That the only chance that they have of getting away from that is to invite Jesus into their heart and to become real, true, honest to God Christians. And I'm willing to bet that there are a lot of churches where that is a major theme. Hell is right there. And if you want to get away, if you want to run away, here are the things that you have to do. And I'm not trying to talk down about other traditions or other churches or other Christians. I really don't like to do that. I like to try to believe that we all embody different aspects of the gospel for our community. And we're not better than each other or worse than each other. We're just different from each other. But I have this problem. Because every time that I have been told about hell and about the need to run away from that by inviting Jesus into my heart and becoming a real, true, honest to God Christian, I've been told about the narrow gate and the hard path. I've been told that the gate is so narrow that mere cultural Christians, like lifelong members of the United Church of Christ, can't get through. I've been told that the gate is so narrow that people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, otherwise queer, and their allies cannot fit through. I have been told that the gate is so narrow that people of other religions and other faiths, really anybody who is not a real, true, honest to God Christian, cannot fit through. I've been told that the gate is so narrow that people who think of ourselves as Christians, but who accept things that so-and-so doesn't accept, whether that's women who preach, or evolution, or that the Bible is a diverse collection of texts that needs to be interpreted, or anything else, can't fit through. And in all of that, I have been shown that love can't fit through unless it is stretched and thinned and turned and twisted so much that it doesn't look like love at all. We become so focused on running away from hell that we don't look at what we're running to. And it becomes so easy to take this whole thing that is supposed to be about having faith in the God who we see in Jesus Christ and making it into something that is about having faith in the almost certainty of hell. And I'll be honest, I just can't do that. You see, I don't believe in hell. There's this not a holiday in Christianity. Really almost the opposite of a holiday. Like it's not a holiday like Tuesday's not a holiday. It's not a holiday like we actively avoid it. We try not to talk about it. And it's that day between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. On the one hand, on that Holy Saturday, I'm a big proponent of the church just being closed. Christ is dead and in the tomb, and we have nothing to celebrate. On the other hand, though, the story goes that when Jesus was in the tomb, Jesus descended to hell. Jesus went into the afterlife and to the worst place in the afterlife and opened the doors and let people out. It's a day that some of us call the harrowing of hell, which is a great name for a holiday. It's the day when we learned, or at least it's the day when the thing happens, that Christ reconciled the whole world. See, when Jesus died for the whole world. When Jesus went into the afterlife and opened the doors, Jesus did that for the whole world. When Jesus rose, Jesus did that for the whole world. Jesus reconciled the world, all of it. Every person, every lion, every sparrow, every blade of grass is brought into right relationship with God. And so how can there possibly be a hell? How can we who have been reconciled with God be sent into punishment? Now, that isn't to say we're always good at living like we're reconciled with God. That isn't to say we don't make our own little hells to torture each other even now, but that's a different sermon. But all of that is to say, I don't believe in hell. And the reason that I do this is not because I am afraid of the thing that I don't believe in. It is because I am thankful and grateful to the one who I do believe in. The one who went to the cross and to the tomb and even to the gates of hell for the sake of saving the world. But what do I do with these scriptures? Isn't the gate narrow and the road hard? Well, yeah. Because love is hard. Love for people who we like and for people who are like us and for people who we naturally get along with is easy, but love for strangers, love for enemies, love for the whole world is hard. And very few of us can find it on our own. But we can find it by relying on Christ. And even a hard road becomes easy when we are traveling it together, following the one in whom the most divine divinity and the most human humanity, the holy and the broken, meet. And shouldn't we build our house on rock? Well, yes. The rock of the words of our Savior, the rock of love. And should we give things that are holy to dogs? Well, there I do get into a little bit of trouble. But I think it is fair to say that even if we aren't handing holy things to everyone, we can give love, which might in fact be the holiest of things, to everyone. It might be the very thing that makes things holy. And when we do that, we can see. There's no point in judging. Only God can judge, and God has judged, and God has judged that we are loved and worthy of love. Should we ask and seek and knock? Yes. We should ask for help traveling that hard road. We should seek our Savior. We should knock at even the narrowest of gates, that they might open, that Christ might open them wide enough that everyone can come through. And should we treat others as we wish to be treated? Yes. And in fact, more than that, we should treat others as we have been treated. We have been shown. We have been shown that we are loved and worthy of love. We have been shown how abundant love is. We have been shown that God is willing to go to the cross and the tomb and to the gates of hell for the sake of the world. And we should love that way. So instead of running away from hell, I will choose to run to Christ, to run to God, to run to love. And sometimes I will trip, and sometimes I will stumble, and sometimes I will fall. But when I do, I have every trust that my Lord will be there to lift me up, to dust me off, and to help me keep running to all of the wonderful things that await in the reign of love. And then, well, to be honest, a way can take care of itself.